Welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing with the previous video. In the last video we have done the theoretical aspect of process costing, and today we are starting with the practical one. If you look at the previous year exam question papers, you will see there is a 15 marks sure shot question of this chapter in every year. So please be careful. Today we are covering the basic practical aspect, and then in the next video we'll be covering up the full-fledged question for the same. So let's have a look. I'll give you a brief overview. As you can see, in process costing, we have different processes, right, during the production. So we have, let's say, process 1 in the beginning, where we put some material. Then we'll have some work in progress. We have certain expenditure of labor and overheads. Then whatever will be the outcome is not the finished product. That will be transferred to the process B. In process B, what will happen? In process B, we have again the transfer from process A. We have another sort of material, labor and other expenditures in this process. Then we have ending work in progress, which will be finally transferred to the final process if we have. Otherwise, that will be considered as finished goods. So we can have more than 2 processes in a process costing. So we'll be computing the cost of each one, then we'll ascertain the final cost of a product. Now let's have a look on this basic problem. A product passes through 3 distinct processes to complete, right? We have 3 processes. We have process 1, we have process 2, and we have process 3. And we have certain expenditures on each process, each steps. We have certain expenditure of material at process 1, process 2, process 3. Similarly, we have labor expenditure and direct expenses expenditure on 3 processes. But there's certain indirect expenditure for the period, which is 2800, which we have to apportion obviously in these 3 processes. But the basis for apportionment is given is labor cost, means on this basis we have to apportion. So the ratio will be 5:4:5. So this will be the ratio to apportion this 2800 rupees. So we have to prepare process costing and show the total cost and cost per unit. As you can see, this is a basic question which we have got in BCom honors also. So let's have a look on the solution. We have prepared 3 ledger accounts as we have done in earlier also. Process 1 account, process 2 account, process 3 account, right? So in each account we have to prepare, we have debit side, we have credit side. In debit side, whatever input we are having in any process we'll put down. As we have, you can see in this table again, we have material, we have labor, we have direct expenses. So we have written material, labor, direct expenses given in the question in all the 3 processes, which is given in the question. 6,000, 5,000, 1,000 is given to us. Similarly, in this process 2, we have 2,000, 4,200 is given to us. And lastly, in process 3, we have been given material, labor and direct expenses. Now, we have to apportion indirect expenses in the ratio of 5:4:5. So total expenditure, if you recall, was 2800. We will divide 2800 in this ratio. So after dividing 2800 in 3 parts, we'll get 1000 here, 800 here and 1000 rupees here, right? So this is a total cost we are incurring on each respective process. We'll transfer the total of process 1, that is 13,000 here, right? 13,000 is the total carry forward amount. This will be brought forward here. And similarly, we have total 21,000 here, which will be carry forward to the process 3, right? And we have the balancing output to be transferred as finished goods amounting to 30,000 as a final cost, total cost incurred on production, right? If we divide with the total number of units which is given to us in the question, then we'll get our cost per unit is 30 rupees. I hope the question is clear. Please have the look on this video again. Till the time it's not clear, we can't move on, right? So let's have a look on the next part. Now, if you talk about the difficult questions, we'll be getting a adjustment of normal loss and abnormal loss. Almost in every question you will find this adjustment. So let's have a look on normal loss today. because it will be overburdened to you if I put all the data in today's video, right? Normal loss. Before coming to the practical, let's have a look what is normal loss all about. Normal loss, which is one which cannot be avoided because of the nature of material, like which is very normal. For example, evaporation or any spoiled quantities, withdrawal from test, sampling. So which is expected under normal conditions, which is expected in any process. So what we have to do in that, what we have to do is, since we can't avoid it and it is there, if we have something physically present in the form of scrap, we can sell it out, and if it's not there, obviously we cannot sell it out. So let's treat it in both the cases, if we have some scrap value and if we don't have any scrap value. So this is a question given to us. We have again material, labor and direct expenses given to us. You can see here 1000 rupees is the material cost, labor 5000, direct expenses 1000. Indirect expenses is allocated only to process A. In this question, we have only one process. Normal wastage is 10% of the input. 10% कितना हो गया? 1000 का 10% is 100. 100 kg is the normal, which is expected. So we have two cases. Scrap value of normal loss is nil, means we don't have any scrap value. And second, if we have the sale value of the scrap at the rate of 1 per unit. So what will be the solution? First case, when the scrap value of normal loss is nil. We have been given material here. We have been given labor, direct expenses. And the indirect expense, as we have only one process, so there is no need to apportion. Total expenditure of process A is 13,000, but we have 100 kgs of normal loss, whose normal selling price is nil given to us. So can I say we have spent 13,000 of cost, this total cost on 900 units only. So we have cost per unit is 14.4. But if we have sold the same 100 kgs for 1 per kg, then we'll recover 100 rupees. So my left out cost, left hand side will remain same. So in right hand side, we'll have a cost of 12,900 for 900 units. So you can see our per unit cost has decreased. It has reduced from 14.44 to 14.33. So whatever any value we have realized from sale of normal wastage, it will definitely reduce the cost, because somehow it is a recovery. Be it rupees 100 only, no problem, but it's a recovery. So I hope this question is clear to you all. We'll be covering up the accounting for abnormal loss in the next video. Thank you. Stay tuned.